B&B spoilers. Who will win Ridge and Eric's final fashion showdown? The bold and the beautiful B&B. Spoilers reveal that we have to ask. Who will win Ridge Forrester, Torsten Kay, and Eric Forrester's John McCook final fashion showdown? Will B&B deliver one last wager between father and son? Ridge practically forced Eric to retire before changing his mind and suggesting Eric could stay if he wanted. Of course, that didn't exactly make Eric feel welcome and wanted in his own family business. Ridge pushed Eric out the door right before Christmas and half-heartedly opened it back up, just a crack. It's easy to see why Eric didn't rush back to work at Forrester Creations, even if he's been struggling to adjust to retirement. Eric needs a new sense of purpose and a chance to feel truly valued. Katie Spencer, Heather Tom, should be able to offer all that, so we have no doubt that Eric will end up designing at her new fashion house soon. Naturally, Ridge might complain about Eric's stressful new job and argue that he should stick to retirement or at least do a simple part-time gig at Forrester. Perhaps Ridge will insist the only reason he was willing to consider a retirement reversal was because he knew they could keep a close eye on Eric. That can't happen when Eric's running himself ragged at Katie's brand new fashion house, which will take a lot of effort to get off the ground. However, Eric may contend that he knows his own limits and push Ridge to back off. This might turn into yet another huge argument and could potentially set the stage for a father-son wager. What if Ridge challenges Eric to one last fashion showdown? The terms might include something about Eric retiring for good if he loses to Ridge once more. If Eric wins, he might convince Ridge to stop all this retirement talk and just trust him to know when it's time to go. Eric would surely like an opportunity to beat Ridge for real, since he was duped into thinking he won last time around. Maybe Eric could make it his mission to defeat Ridge and his own family company in the process. This would ultimately be a feud between Forrester Creations and Katie's new fashion house as well. What better way to have these rivals go head-to-head than through a classic fashion face-off? The bold and the beautiful spoilers say Ridge may get updates on Eric's new designer position and flip out, so stay tuned for his outraged reaction to that news. The final showdown, legacy, heartbreak, and the future of Forrester. The halls of Forrester Creations have seen countless battles, but nothing quite compares to the emotional earthquake currently rocking Los Angeles. As we move into the final days of December 2025, the air isn't just filled with holiday cheer. It's thick with the scent of competition and the bittersweet sting of today's very sad news. For weeks, fans have been glued to their screens, asking one question: who will win the final fashion showdown between Ridge and Eric? But as the sequins settle and the sketches are tucked away, the answer isn't a simple name on a scoreboard. It's a heartbreaking revelation that might change the Forrester dynasty forever. The Battle of the Titans, Ridge versus Eric. This isn't just about hemlines and fabrics, it's a battle for the soul of a legacy. Eric Forrester, the patriarch who built this empire from a single stitch, is facing his toughest opponent yet, time. Throughout December, we've watched Eric struggle with a secret medical setback that has left him defensive and more determined than ever. Point one, he refuses to be put out to pasture by a son who, in Eric's eyes, is more interested in the CEO chair than the artistry of the craft. Point two, Ridge, on the other hand, believes he is acting out of love. He sees a father pushing himself to the brink and wants to save him from himself. This sad news that has fans reeling. The showdown isn't just about who has the better collection. It's about whether this will be Eric's final collection. With reports of Eric's health declining rapidly, many fear that this win for either man will come at a devastating cost. Competitor strategy motivation: Eric Forrester classic elegance. Old guard perfection, proving he still has the magic and won't be erased. Ridge Forrester modern, edgy, high commercial appeal. Protecting the company, and he thinks, protecting his father's health. The twist: a victory shrouded in secrets. If history on the bold and the beautiful has taught us anything, it's that a win is rarely what it seems. Spoilers suggest that while the numbers might favor one designer, The emotional fallout will be the real story. In a previous legendary showdown, Ridge actually won the numbers, but allowed Eric to believe he was the victor to spare his feelings during a health crisis. In 2025, the stakes are even higher. If Ridge wins again, can he live with the guilt of defeating a man who is fighting for his last breath of relevance? If Eric wins, will the physical toll of the victory be his undoing? The Brooke and Katie factor. While the men battle in the design studio, a different kind of war has erupted among the Logan sisters. Katie Logan has officially defected from Forrester Creations to start her own house under Bill Spencer's backing point. 3. Her choice of name? Logan. This has sent Brooke into a tailspin. Brooke views the Logan brand as her own identity, tied to her belief formula, and her decades of dominance point for this sisterly rift adds a layer of sad news to the fashion world. The Logan family, once the glue of the show, is fractured right as Eric needs them most. What to expect in the coming days as we head toward the 2026 transition? Here is what B&B fans should brace for. Eric's health crisis. Look for Donna to be the one who finally breaks the silence, potentially leading to a medical emergency right at the height of the fashion reveal. The new contender. With Eric potentially stepping back, rumors are swirling that he may lend his genius to Katie's new venture to spite Ridge, setting up a Forrester versus Logan war unlike any we've seen. A bittersweet new year. While Hope and Liam prepare for their wedding, the shadow of Eric's condition will loom large over every celebration. The verdict: who really wins? In the world of the bold and the beautiful, a trophy is just a piece of metal. The real winner is whoever walks away with their family intact. Right now, it looks like Ridge may win the showdown, but Eric wins the heart of the audience. The tragedy lies in the fact that these two men love each other deeply, yet their pride and passion for fashion are the very things driving them apart in what could be their final days together. News from the bold and the beautiful is heavy, emotional, and impossible to ignore. What began as a glamorous battle of creativity and legacy has quietly transformed into something far more heartbreaking. Ridge Forrester versus Eric Forrester was never meant to be just another fashion rivalry. It has become a painful reckoning between father and son, past and future, pride and mortality. And now, as the final fashion showdown approaches, the question isn't just who will win, it's what will be lost forever. This is not a celebration. This is a goodbye disguised as a competition, a battle that was never meant to happen. For decades, Eric Forrester was Forrester Creations. His hands built it, his vision shaped it, and his heart kept it alive through every storm. Ridge grew up in the glow of that legacy, destined to inherit the crown. But destiny, as B&B fans know all too well, is rarely gentle. When Eric insisted on returning to the design room, on proving that he still mattered, Ridge believed he was protecting the company by pushing back. On paper, Ridge's logic made sense. Eric was slowing down. The business was evolving. The fashion world doesn't wait for sentiment. But emotionally, Ridge underestimated one thing: Eric's need to be seen. This showdown wasn't born out of ego. It was born out of fear. Fear of becoming invisible. Fear of being replaced. Fear of realizing that your life's work might no longer need you. The silent shadow over Eric's final collection. What makes this story so devastating is what Ridge doesn't fully understand, and what Eric has quietly hidden. Eric isn't fighting because he wants power. He's fighting because time is slipping away. Every sketch, every stitch, every late night spent hunched over fabric carries an unspoken truth. This may be Eric's last collection. That knowledge changes everything. Viewers can see it in Eric's eyes. There's urgency there, desperation, a softness that wasn't present in his earlier battles with Ridge. This isn't about winning a boardroom argument. This is about leaving something behind that says, I was here, I mattered, I still matter. And that's what makes today's spoilers so painfully sad. Ridge's position, right? But at what cost? Ridge Forrester is not the villain of this story. In many ways, he's the tragic figure who will carry the guilt long after the runway lights dim. Ridge believes he's doing what's best for Forrester Creations. He's thinking about shareholders, brand relevance, and the future. He believes Eric deserves dignity, not exhaustion. And in Ridge's mind, stepping aside is an act of love. But love, when mixed with control, becomes dangerous. Ridge didn't ask Eric what he needed. He told him. And now, as the final fashion showdown looms, Ridge may be about to win a battle that costs him something far greater than he ever imagined. The runway that feels like a farewell. Sources tease that the fashion showdown itself will be breathtaking and devastating. Eric's collection isn't just beautiful, it's emotional. It tells a story of beginnings, struggles, romance, and legacy. Longtime fans will recognize callbacks to iconic Forrester designs from decades past. This isn't innovation for innovation's sake. This is memory woven into fabric. Ridge's collection, on the other hand, represents the future. Clean lines, bold statements, fashion-forward pieces that scream relevance and evolution. It's polished. It's impressive. It's everything a modern fashion house should be. And that's where the heartbreak lies. Because when the judges, buyers, and critics cast their votes, they won't just be choosing clothes. They'll be choosing direction. Past versus future. Sentiment versus strategy. And no matter who wins, someone loses. Who will actually win the showdown? Here's the brutal truth behind today's spoilers. Ridge is likely to win the fashion showdown on paper. His designs align with the future of the brand. They appeal to modern buyers. They make business sense. If this were judged purely by numbers, Ridge would take the crown. But the bold and the beautiful has never been about numbers alone. Eric's collection is expected to receive overwhelming emotional praise. There are whispers that guests, and even family members, will be visibly moved. Some may even realize too late that this wasn't just a competition, it was a final statement. So while Ridge may technically win, the emotional victory belongs to Eric. And that's what makes this outcome so painfully sad. The moment Ridge may never forgive himself for. Spoilers hint at a devastating realization for Ridge after the show concludes. Something will click. A look from Eric. A quiet moment backstage. A realization that this wasn't about control or relevance, it was about closure. By the time Ridge understands that, it may already be too late. That's the kind of regret that doesn't fade. It lingers. It reshapes relationships. It haunts memories. Ridge may walk away with the title of winner, but he could lose his father's trust forever. Or worse, lose the chance to truly honor him while he still can. Brooke, Steffi, and the family divide. The fashion showdown doesn't just affect Ridge and Eric. It sends shockwaves through the entire Forrester family. Brooke is torn, caught between supporting the man she loves and honoring the man who built the world they all live in. Steffi, fiercely loyal to her father, struggles with the realization that progress may be coming at an unforgivable cost. And the rest of the family? They're forced to choose sides in a battle that feels wrong no matter where you stand. This isn't a family disagreement. It's a family fracture. Why this storyline hurts so much? What makes this storyline resonate so deeply is its realism. Many viewers see their own lives reflected here. The aging parent who doesn't want to step aside, the adult child who believes they know what's best, and the conversations that never quite happen in time. The bold and the beautiful taps into a universal fear. What if the last thing you say to someone isn't what you meant to say? That fear hangs over every scene leading into the final fashion showdown. The aftermath, no true victory. When the runway lights dim and the applause fades, Forrester Creations will move forward. But something irreplaceable will be left behind. Eric may smile. He may congratulate Ridge. He may even accept the outcome with grace. But viewers will know the truth. This was his last stand. And Ridge? He will carry the weight of this decision forever. So, who really wins Ridge and Eric's final fashion showdown? Not the company. Not the legacy. Not even fashion itself. The only thing that truly wins is time, and time is merciless. Final thoughts. Today's very sad news from the bold and the beautiful reminds us that some battles should never be fought, and some victories aren't worth claiming. Ridge and Eric's final fashion showdown isn't about who designs better clothes. It's about love, pride, and the terrifying realization that endings don't always come with warnings. As fans brace for the emotional fallout, one thing is certain. This story will leave scars that Forrester Creations may never fully heal from. The fashion world of Los Angeles is reeling. For decades, the halls of Forrester Creations have been the stage for some of the most dramatic power struggles in television history. But nothing quite compares to the emotional gravity of the current Ridge versus Eric rivalry. What started as a creative spark has ignited into a wildfire of family tension, health scares, and a final showdown that has fans across the globe reaching for the tissues. If you've been following the bold and the beautiful lately, you know that the sad news isn't just about a lost contract or a ruined dress. It's about the potential end of an era for the great Eric Forrester. The heartbreak behind the runway. Why this showdown is different. In years past, fashion duels between the Forrester men were about ego and aesthetic. Ridge, the dressmaker, always wanted to prove he had surpassed his teacher. Eric, the grandmaster, wanted to show the world that classic elegance never goes out of style. But in late 2025, the stakes have shifted from professional to painfully personal. This isn't just about who can drape silk better. It's about legacy, mortality, and the right to go out on one's own terms. The sad news that changed everything. The tension reached a fever pitch in December 2025 when Ridge, motivated by a mix of concern and a desire for control, essentially forced Eric into retirement point one despite Eric experiencing a massive surge of creative energy, producing some of the most stunning couture of his career. Ridge insisted that his father's health was too fragile for the trenches of the fashion world. Point two. The truly sad news for fans came when we saw Eric, a titan of industry, packing up his office. Watching Eric Forrester, the man who built the building, walk through those doors not as a leader, but as someone being ushered into the sunset, was a gut punch for longtime viewers. Ridge versus Eric, the ultimate breakdown. To understand who won this showdown, we have to look at the two different battlegrounds, the runway and the heart. Feature Eric Forrester, the legend, Ridge Forrester, the successor, design philosophy timeless, high couture, emotional modern, edgy, commercial motivation proving he still has it before he goes protecting his father's health and his own ego, current status feeling betrayed and iced out, consumed by the stress of the CEO Eric's creative rebirth. In a twist that surprised even his harshest critics, Eric's latest designs have been described as his magnum opus. While Ridge has been bogged down by the administrative nightmares of Forrester Creations and the ongoing Logan name trademark battle with Bill Spencer, Eric has been designing from the soul at Home Point 3. The tragedy? Ridge refuses to let these designs see the light of day under the Forrester banner, fearing the stress will kill his father. This has led to the current fashion war, where Eric is looking for ways to strike back, possibly with the help of outside allies like Bill Spencer or even his grandson, Zend. Who will win the final showdown? If we are talking about the official Forrester Challenge, the results are bittersweet. 1. The literal winner, the numbers. In the most recent tallying of sales and critical acclaim, Ridge Forrester technically holds the crown. With the backing of the full Forrester PR machine and the Forrester Next initiative, Ridge's lines are the ones currently driving the company's revenue. 2. The moral winner, the fan's choice. However, the win feels hollow. Fans are overwhelmingly siding with Eric. There is a deep sense of injustice in watching Ridge, who Eric has forgiven 1,000 times over for various betrayals, now turn around and treat his father like an obsolete relic. It's not a victory if you have to break your father's heart to get it. A common sentiment among the BNB community this week. The sad reality, a legacy in jeopardy. The very sad news circulating in the spoilers suggests that this showdown might not have a happy ending for either man. Eric's health. Reports indicate that the stress of being pushed out is having a physical toll. We've seen Eric coughing and showing signs of exhaustion that mirror his 2023 health scare. Family fracture. The Forrester family is split. Steffi is caught in the middle, admiring her grandfather's talent but wanting to support her father's leadership point for meanwhile. The Logans are divided, with Brooke trying to bridge the gap between her husband, Ridge, and her longtime mentor, Eric. What happens next? The showdown isn't over until the final model walks. There are whispers that Eric might do the unthinkable, starting a rival fashion house, with Bill Spencer looking for any excuse to stick it to Ridge and Katie Logan feeling underappreciated at Forrester. The ingredients are there for a Spencer Forrester boutique that could take Ridge down. The ultimate question: can Ridge realize he's making a mistake before it's too late? Or will his win in the fashion showdown be the very thing that costs him his relationship with his father forever? Conclusion: a bittersweet victory. In the world of the bold and the beautiful, victories are rarely clean. While Ridge may currently sit in the CEO chair with the winning numbers, the very sad news is that he is losing the respect of the man who gave him everything. Eric Forrester is a fighter. Whether he's fighting a mystery illness or his own son's ego, he won't go quietly into the night. This final showdown is less about who has the better dress and more about who has the stronger soul. The fashion world and Forrester Creations dynasty are in turmoil, and so are the hearts of the bold and the beautiful fans worldwide. Today, we bring you the latest heartbreaking, rage-inducing, tear-gelled spoilers about Ridge Forrester and his father Eric Forrester's final fashion showdown, a contest that was meant to unite them but has only driven them further apart. Soap Opera Spy +1. This is not just another fashion face-off. It's a legacy war, a collision of talent, age, pride, betrayal, and broken dreams. And at its center, the iconic patriarch Eric Forrester, once king of couture, and his son Ridge, poised to inherit both title and throne, but at terrible emotional cost. Michael Fairman TV. Performing arts, the showdown everyone talked about, but no one wanted to happen. For decades, Eric Forrester built Forrester Creations from the ground up, a titan in the fashion world whose designs defined generations. His son Ridge followed in his footsteps, proving himself a genius designer in his own right and the face of modern couture at Forrester. But now everything is unraveling. Soap Opera Spy. According to today's latest spoilers, the long-anticipated fashion duel between father and son has become reality. But the outcome is nothing like fans hoped. It's tragic, poignant, and full of unresolved tension. Soap Opera Spy. What's worse? Eric's past retirement push, Ridge's heavy-handed decisions, and the emotional fallout have turned this fashion duel into a battle of hearts, not just designs. Michael Fairman TV. Broken Heart Ridge's controversial move. Did he push his father too far? After mounting pressure, Ridge reportedly forced Eric into retirement, a decision meant to protect him and allow Ridge to take full creative control of Forrester. But what Ridge thought was a loving act has only driven a wedge between them, leaving Eric feeling cast aside. According to today's latest spoilers, the long-anticipated fashion duel between father and son has become reality. But the outcome is nothing like fans hoped. It's tragic, poignant, and full of unresolved tension. Soap Opera Spy. What's worse? Eric's past retirement push, Ridge's heavy-handed decisions, and the emotional fallout have turned this fashion duel into a battle of hearts, not just designs. Michael Fairman TV. Broken Heart Ridge's controversial move. Did he push his father too far? After mounting pressure, Ridge reportedly forced Eric into retirement, a decision meant to protect him and allow Ridge to take full creative control of Forrester. But what Ridge thought was a loving act has only driven a wedge between them, leaving Eric feeling cast aside and unappreciated. Soap Opera Spy. Sources close to the show say Ridge regretted the move almost immediately, opening the door for Eric to come back only slightly, but the damage had already been done. The glory days of collaboration were replaced with resentment and rivalry. Soap Opera Spy. In one recent episode, Ridge and Eric clashed bitterly over design rights, creative control, and Eric's future at Forrester. Eric declared he wasn't done, not by a long shot. And Ridge, torn between love and fear, still refused to give him the reins back fully. Michael Fairman TV. For fans, this wasn't just corporate drama. It was a son telling his father he's too old, too fragile, too passé to keep designing. And for many viewers, that hit way too close to home. Michael Fairman TV. Necktie Eric's heartbreaking response. A legend refuses to fade. Eric Forrester isn't someone who goes quietly, especially when it comes to fashion. In the months leading up to the showdown, he refused to be put out to pasture, insisting that designing is his life, not just a hobby or a job. Michael Fairman TV. He stormed Forrester's offices, emotionally declaring that he built the company with his own hands and wouldn't walk away on someone else's timeline. In one unforgettable confrontation, he told Ridge, "I didn't build this empire just so I could sit and watch from the sidelines." Michael Fairman TV. Behind closed doors, however, there are whispers, deep, heartbreaking whispers, that Eric's health may be deteriorating. Fans have speculated that his urgency to design may come from more than creative passion, adding a sense of tragic urgency to the showdown. Soap opera news. No matter what happens, the emotional weight of Eric's career and his drive to design his last great line has cast a shadow over every decision in this feud. Michael Fairman TV. Thread the fashion duel. Who will win? Now for the moment fans have been waiting for, the results. According to today's spoiler scoop, the competition has been decided, but again, not in the way fans expected. Soap opera spy. Here's what the latest insider reports reveal. Crown neither Ridge nor Eric takes the classic victory. What's heartbreaking is this. Eric won't be crowned the final winner of Forrester's duel with Ridge, but the fallout is worse than defeat. Instead, it appears he is being pushed out entirely despite his legacy, while Ridge remains at the helm at the flagship fashion house. Soap opera spy. Yes, Ridge technically keeps control of the main company, and Ridge's designs will be the ones featured in the industry. But Eric's line, his final work, has no place on the runway of his own creation. Soap opera spy. Broken heart, that means Eric doesn't lose in the traditional sense, but he doesn't win either. It's a lose-lose ending, a scene of triumph mixed with crushing sorrow. Fans describe it as one of the saddest storylines in B&B history. High-heeled shoe Katie Logan and a new chapter, a bittersweet turn. But the story doesn't stop with Forrester Creations. Today's reels also suggest that Katie Logan may offer Eric a fresh, emotional lifeline, a chance to design again under a new brand, her own fashion house. Soap opera spy, +1. Word on set is that Katie's fashion venture could become a new home for Eric's creative spirit, a place where he's genuinely wanted, not sidelined. Celeb dirty laundry. However, and this is what makes it truly, gut-wrenchingly sad, this new opportunity isn't a grand reunion at Forrester. It's a different chapter entirely, one that further separates Eric from his legacy and his family's original empire. Celeb dirty laundry. For fans, this feels like a victory through a back door, almost a pity prize rather than the glory he deserves. And that emotional bittersweetness has left many fans crying into their tissues. Speech balloon the fan response. Social media is breaking. Across forums and social feeds, viewers have been reacting in real time to the fallout. Fire, this isn't a win or loss. It's pure heartbreak. Broken heart, Eric deserved to go out on top, not be shuffled to the sidelines. Crying face, watching a legend get replaced by his own son echoes real life in the worst way. Collision, this story is beautiful and brutal, exactly what B&B does best. Fans are calling this one of the most poignant storylines in recent years, a director's cut of emotional turmoil, pride, and family betrayal. Tear off calendar, what happens next? While the fashion showdown may appear over, the emotional aftershocks are just beginning. Here's what insiders hint could happen next. Small blue diamond Eric could fully embrace Katie's fashion house. Some insiders believe Eric may rebuild his creative identity outside Forrester, working alongside Katie, Hope, and even Deke in a new kind of couture venture. Celeb Dirty Laundry. Small Blue Diamond Ridge may feel guilt and regret. Despite technically winning, Ridge is reportedly feeling heavier guilt with each passing scene, knowing he pushed his father to the brink and may have destroyed a legacy. Soap opera news. Small Blue Diamond, new rival fashion wars. Now that Katie has her own fashion empire, a brand new corporate rivalry could emerge, putting Ridge and Katie directly at odds while Eric and Hope may band together. Celeb Dirty Laundry. This isn't just story continuation, it's a whole new era of drama for the bold and the beautiful. Scarf, why this fashion showdown hurts so much. Unlike typical winner-takes-all design contests, this showdown represents something deeper. Small Blue Diamond, a father's identity. Eric's life has always been fashion. It wasn't just work, it was his soul. Small Blue Diamond, a son's fear. Ridge isn't just fighting for creative control. He's fighting fear of losing his father physically and emotionally. Small Blue Diamond, family legacy versus modern ambition. The core question throughout this arc is, who truly deserves the torch? This is the kind of storytelling that makes fans cry, cheer, and argue in equal measure. Thread final word. The sadness, the legacy, and what it all means. So who won? The short answer, no one really did. Ridge may walk away with the title and the runway fame, but Eric's heart and legacy and the emotional defeat he feels loom larger than any trophy or applause. Soap opera spy. In the end, this wasn't a fashion contest. It was a battle over love, respect, age, and dignity. And for many loyal fans, it's one of the most heartbreaking chapters in bold and the beautiful history. Expect tears. Expect cheers. Expect even more drama as this storyline continues to unfold, because in LA's elite fashion world, nothing is ever over, especially not when family is involved. Stay tuned and bring tissues.